Hey, what's up, Gemini? How are you? Gemini, thanks so much for being here and watching. I'm excited to bring to you a brand new series to the channel called Separation Station. And so this is going to be your Separation Station reading for January 2019, where we'll cover any issues regarding the reason why you and your partner may be separated and any hopes for reconciliation that you do have, if there is any possible reconciliation here to be determined. So this won't resonate for everyone, of course, because it's just a general reading. However, Gemini, this will be for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So if it doesn't resonate to you, please check out any of your other signs that resonate to your chart, okay? Also keep in mind that the energy could be interchangeable, all right? So it's no definite you side and them side. It could be, some of the energy you find on one side, some of the energy you find on the other, okay? However this resonates to you and to the person that is most on your mind, or to the person that has you on their mind, okay? Because that energy could possibly show up. So let's take a look. It may not resonate to someone. It may not resonate to the person that you think it resonates to, all right? So let's take a look and see what Gemini has, what energy between them and the person that is most on their mind, or to the person that has Gemini on their mind. Oh, right out the gate, Gemini, we got express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So you guys are definitely feeling it. Let's get their card here. Actually, there is one that's flipped. Okay, so so Gemini, I feel like you at this point, or at some point in January, you've expressed your love to them. You have, tried to contact them, whether you've texted, you've messaged, you've left a voicemail, you've stood outside their window with the speaker box up, over your head, blasting, you know, like you've done it all. Like or you're considering, doing it all. But I just really feel as though it's no secret to them exactly how much love you have for them. Gemini, I feel like you want things to work out. You want definitely to be have this moment where you guys can come back together and reconcile. Quite literally with express your love. I do feel like you have not made it any secret exactly how it is you feel. Now, Gemini, on their end, they have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So I can take this a couple of ways, Gemini. Honestly, for them, I do feel like they have purposely like just kind of blocked themselves off, and just have really just taken the time to disconnect themselves from the entire world, or at least just from you, just so that they can get their head right, or that they can whatever they need to work on, or do whatever they need to do, right? Okay, but it's definitely a purposeful disconnection that they have made. Now, this is not necessarily saying that they were the ones that broke up with you, or that they were the ones that broke your heart. But in that scenario, it does feel as though that during this time of separation, they are really like going, just you're really like taking a time to really just disconnect from everything and just reflect, I feel. Now, also with their energy on this, with the retreat, as I look at the particular picture, I do feel as though it could possibly be where they have definitely disconnected themselves from you, or separated themselves from you, because they are using that time to spend with someone else. So that could possibly be the reason to that as well, Gemini. I mean, I don't know the situation specifically because this is general, so it could go either way. There may be some of you who, that resonates to a little bit more. Okay, so let's take a look at the energy through tarot and see how things really kind of got the way they were, and what's the next best step forward that you guys can really make, and possibly if there's any hope for any reconciliation here, of course. Let's take a look and see. All right, Gemini. So please give us the energy, give us messages for Gemini and the person that's most on Gemini's mind. Okay. So we got the Ten of Wands, we got the Princess of Swords. Okay, bow. Okay, wow. Okay, so with the with the Ten of Wands here, definitely, at some point in the relationship, Gemini, I just really feel like there was a lot on you. Maybe you felt like you were the one who was always expressing your love. You were the one who felt like you were always, you know, kind of carrying the relationship, you know, either through the things that you did for this person, like maybe you overexerted yourself to show that you loved, and that's how you expressed it. Um, but with the but with it being right next to the Princess of Swords on their end, I just feel like maybe at some point in the relationship or at around that time in the relationship with the Princess of Swords, I really feel like with the Princess of Swords, they had their interests elsewhere. Usually with the Princess of Swords, like they possibly were like spying on you or anything like that. But I don't feel like there was anything to catch. You know, I don't know personally. You know what you guys are dealing with, but I don't feel necessarily that they were like spying on you. Maybe they were, you know, maybe you were so busy with things that maybe they suspected, you know, that there was something going on, and, you know, it caused them to actually kind of look and try to peek into things. But I don't necessarily feel like they found anything. I do feel like that could be the case though for some of you, where that, you know, they looked, but all they found was you being busy for them, right? But for some of you, this could be where they definitely had some interest elsewhere, either with like a younger air sign. So it could be another Gemini who maybe is a little younger than you, or any air sign that could be younger than you, or anybody, right? This person definitely may not have like a lot of life experience. I feel like this person possibly um, could. This person could be very really naive to the whole situation, where like don't possibly really, they may not even really know that your person was, or, you know, or is involved in anything right now. And it could be that, you know, you found out about them. But at any rate, you know, this definitely could be the person that they may be, you know, kind of off on a retreat with here. Yeah, with the Nine of Swords, like you're worried about it. You're definitely stressed. You're like, wait a minute, you know, hold on, because this person, like, you know what I mean, they got me messed up. Like I'm up here sleepless, I'm crying, I'm stressing over this person, thinking about what they could be doing with this other person. Then they're answering my phones and they're answering none of my inboxes. It's like, what? And Gemini, I understand, because like being a fellow air sign myself, I know we can definitely jump to a lot of conclusions very, very fast. Come up with scenarios in your head, right? Of as to, well, what could this person really be doing? Like, or what could I possibly have done that bad to where they just like ghost me in a way, you know? But in a way, I just feel like it really didn't have anything to do with you on some levels. I just feel like, you know, it had everything to do with them. Like, they just, something else caught their eye. Um, it's a very stupid thing. I feel like it's a very, I really feel like they threw a lot away here so far, anyway. Oh, wow. And then the Lover's card pops up. So, okay, so at this point right now, Gemini, I could take this a couple of ways as well. So, for some of you, I think for some of you who are actually dealing with, well, honestly, on either side of the situation, I think there's some of you who are dealing with whose person is actually really realizing that, you know, wait, you know, Gemini did actually really means something to me here. I do have a choice to make. I could keep going here with this other person that I've led down this certain road, or I can go ahead and go back to Gemini, whom I've led down a certain road to a degree. Even with it being next to the Nine of Swords, they really could be up about it at night, right? I feel like they could be working through some things here, trying to really decide which person is good for them, which is also the reason why they've taken the time to disconnect. That also could explain the Princess of Swords here on their side as well, where they're really maybe taking a look here at both people. Like they've disconnected themselves from everybody that they were talking to, everybody that, you know, that they had potential options with, or just, you know, they just maybe haven't given anyone a particular answer on if they're going to go deeper, if they're, you know what I mean? And so right now, yeah, it does definitely create this sort of distance that you have with each other, this separation, this disconnection, even though things may not be completely 100% established yet. I don't feel as though, but even if it is, either way, whether this relationship is just starting or whether it's been going on, right now there's a sense of separation here because this person has disconnected themselves, because they don't know they've worked themselves up to where now they're feeling intense feelings for two different people. And they're kind of going about it in a way of like, okay, well, I'm going to let them decide for me. With the Princess of Wands, or excuse me, the Princess of Swords, it's like they're saying, I'm going to let them decide for me. I'm just going to go ahead and just disconnect myself from the both of them, and then I'm going to let the actions of the both of them decide for me who I should go for, who I should go with. Let's see what the future energy looks like for Gemini and for Gemini's person in this reading. So Gemini, your energy is the King of Cups, and the King of Cups does show reverse. So I feel like there's a point where you just begin to feel very, very closed in with your emotions, very boxed in with your emotions, even though their emotions are very big. It's like you've analyzed them to the point, you've analyzed your own emotions to the point to where it just doesn't make sense anymore. And you're not sure. And with it being right under the Nine of Swords, of course, that's understandable. Like you've just contemplated your own emotions over and over in your mind, or you get to the point to where you contemplate your emotions over and over in your mind so much that it's almost like it just doesn't make sense to you anymore. This could also indicate that, you guys may end up meeting like a water sign individual who I possibly feel like could take advantage of like your vulnerabilities. Like they know that either you got ghosted or you got broken up with, and they're really taking advantage of those certain emotions that you have. And I think that possibly could be a warning to you guys as well. So not to say it doesn't necessarily have to be a water sign, but just pay attention to the people that you do express your love to, because there are people sometimes who who prey on that. They prey on people who express their love to them, because it makes them feel loved and it plays on their ego. Okay. Now they are showing the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. So with the Queen of Pentacles popping up in their future possibilities, rather, the possible future or the best steps forward for them, I feel like, I feel a couple of different things, honestly, with this Gemini. I feel like, on one hand, I do feel like they could possibly learn a lot from this situation, where they learn to really invest in just one particular outcome as opposed to multiple ones. But I do feel like as though maybe their ego kind of grows with this as well, because they feel like, well, maybe they have the choice to be able to provide to both parties here with the two rams. Like they feel like they can provide to both parties here, but ultimately they do have to make a choice. But I do feel like with the Queen of Pentacles, for some of them, their choice may possibly be, it may not possibly lead your way. But I don't feel like it, honestly, but with the Queen of Pentacles, it may not lead the other person's way either. I really feel like this person kind of learns their own lesson within the whole situation. I feel like they kind of look at you, begin to realize how manipulative their behavior was of trying to, make two other people decide for him who he should choose, when he was the one or she was the one that put the both of you in that situation in the first place. Right? So with the Queen of Pentacles, I do feel like they do have some sort of enlightenment. They do kind of reach a comfortable ground level, like a base ground level, well, not even like a base, well, let me explain that. When I say base ground level, I feel like they come to an understanding of what they need to do, and I really feel as though they're looking at you and they're seeing how you're realizing how manipulative they could have been. And then at the same time, I don't know what's going on with the other person. If there is another person involved, I don't know what's going on with the other person, but I just feel like with whatever choice that they have to make, I feel like they ultimately end up choosing themselves, choosing to be a lot more independent. I feel like they can still be of like some help to you, maybe some service to you. Maybe they can be still a good friend for you, but I don't necessarily feel like romantic reconciliation is back in the cards. I do feel as though you guys do learn a lot from one another. You guys do mature a lot from this time apart. And if you do reconcile with each other, it will not be romantic. I mean, it possibly could be, but sexual at best. But I don't even really see that. I just really feel like they possibly may approach you um, with like some sort of truth, or with some, sort of maybe peace offering. But I don't necessarily feel like you accept it. And if you do accept it, it's like you're like really analyzing it, and even maybe analyzing their intentions. So on your end, for additional advice, we have the Maiden, a new relationship blossoms. So this is actually really good energy, Gemini, because this tells us right here that as things really just begin to kind of fade to black with this particular person that you have on your mind, there is the energy of a new beginning that could possibly arise. And I love that energy. There's an admirer that you have. I feel as though there's an admirer waiting to express their love to you. Like they're waiting for you. They're just waiting for you to get over, everything else. Okay. Now, I do have two cards to pop out for Gemini, for Gemini's person. So their advice here, they have the Black Cat, your luck will soon change. And they also have the Harlequin, true feelings are masked. Yeah, definitely here on their end, true feelings are masked because, I feel like in a way they really led you on to a certain point until they got uncomfortable, until where they thought that, things may have just been getting a little bit too serious, and then they pulled back from you. Okay. But with your luck will soon change. I do also feel like maybe the person that if they did get, if it was another person that took them, or it took their interest away from you at some certain point in the relationship, if there was a third party involved, I feel like with the Black Cat, I feel like it was kind of karmic, where maybe this person actually does to them exactly what they did to you here in this relationship, right? And so then they manipulated them, and then they manipulated their feelings to the point to where now they have actually learned the lesson. Okay, they have actually learned. So reconciliation, not on a romantic level. However, I do feel like there is a bright new beginning for Gemini. There is the makings of a brand new, bright new relationship that they're actually waiting on you, and it could be exactly what it is that you are looking for. They're waiting on you, Gemini. So I'm about to go ahead and let y'all go and brood over that, because this was kind of heavy, but it still had a happy ending, Gemini. Let me know how this works out. I love your likes, your comments, your subscribes, and your shares. Of course, if you want to see me live, you can just tune in Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where I go live for the singles. We go ahead and talk about who's coming towards you, what work they're doing towards coming to you, and what work you need to do to align yourself to that. Okay. Now, also, you can check me out Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where I go live to give you the information for the upcoming weekend for all signs. So that actually gets really fun. So I do face-to-face lives, of course, for my lives. I love to be able to chat and interact with you. So please join me. I welcome you. If you want to book a personal reading, all the information will be linked down below. Again, like, share, subscribe. I love it, Gemini. Have a great